your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
And I'm back here on the Matex Heating and Cooling Weather Garden, where it still is a nice night out, except it is definitely warmer than where we've been the past few nights. It's 72 degrees in Champaign, 75 in Mattoon, 71 in Effingham, and 74 in Lincoln, with clear skies on our retro heating, air conditioning, weather camera, part of our Roofing Dog iNet. We've got our winds that are out of the southeast right now between about 5 and 10 miles an hour, and we expect even warmer conditions for the day tomorrow. So we'll talk about the heat for the next couple days. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
Not just one resignation, but 3 at what was supposed to be a village board meeting tonight. And that is just the tip of the iceberg.
Not everyone has a pension, but the state's pension crisis means big problems for everyone. Why your safety is on the line.
30 grams would be legal, 31 grams would be illegal. My dog can't tell that.
And drug-sniffing dogs can detect marijuana, but that will soon be legal in the state. But that could cost police departments thousands.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons. What is going on in the small village of Atwood? That is a question we and a lot of people there had tonight. There was a sudden resignation from 3 Atwood Village board members today, including the village president. Several Atwood leaders believe accusations of eavesdropping, obstruction of justice, even assault led up to all of this. WCIA 3's Emily Braun is live in Atwood tonight. Emily, a lot to unpack here. Right now, what are some people there concerned about the most?
Well, to start, Jessica, 3 of the 7 board members resigned tonight, and a 4th didn't show. So the 3 out of 7 left means there wasn't quorum. And no quorum means no one can pay their bills, and no village employees can get paid until there is quorum. And payday is this Thursday. That also means in a packed boardroom, there wasn't even an official meeting tonight. The resignation of the mayor, Brody Farrar, and the 2 trustees, one of which is Farrar's wife, was announced at 7 o'clock when the meeting was supposed to start. This comes in the middle of allegations that the mayor installed video cameras in the Atwood Police Department that recorded audio against the police department's knowledge. The mayor was also accused of listening in to conversations in the police department on numerous occasions from the middle of July to the middle of August. We spoke to one village trustee who says he helped the mayor in his election campaign, but now finds himself caught in the crosshairs from backlash. When this trustee, Marion Irwin, found out the mayor was logging on to the video feeds at the police department, he confronted him about it with the evidence in hand. He said that's when Farrar verbally assaulted his wife, and now Irwin is considering pressing charges.
He came back over and started asking questions. My wife proceeded to ask him why he deleted out of 2,000 videos, why did you only delete 3? And he lunged at my wife and yelled, "You're pissing me off, you're really pissing me off." And I had to step in between the 2 of them.
Irwin showed us a text message from Farrar's wife from yesterday morning. It asked Irwin if he would drop the assault charges if she and her husband resign. Irwin never responded to that text. Then the resignation letters came in today. I called Farrar for comment, and I have not heard back. I knocked on his door, and no one answered. In his resignation letter, Farrar said he no longer felt he could serve the community in a positive way as mayor, but we have the full copy of his resignation statement on our website, WCIA.com. I also reached out to the Atwood Police Chief for comment, and he says he cannot comment further on the camera investigation because it is an ongoing investigation, and it's been handed over to Piatt and Douglas counties. But he did want to tell Atwood residents to try to stay positive amidst all of this uncertainty because it should be business as usual, and leaders are working on a solution just as soon as possible. Live in Atwood, Emily Braun, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Yeah, payday is Thursday, so they just have a couple of days here to get that figured out. Emily, let us know if you get any updates. Thank you.
Instead of receiving a sentence for murder, one man is hoping he'll get another trial. Darrell Fox requested a retrial after being convicted for the murder of Demetrio Lovelace. He died after being shot several times in 2017. Fox will be back in court next month. A string of burglaries to homes and vehicles, along with car thefts, are plaguing Sangamon County. Now the sheriff's office is looking for a suspect. They say Christopher Etris is the main suspect in a string of home and car burglaries that started in July. It's happening in northwest Sangamon County. Several guns have been taken. Etris is out on parole. Police are warning people to be vigilant and to lock your home and car.
New for you tonight, police arrested a 30-year-old man accused of beating his 13-year-old daughter with an extension cord. This happened near East Grand Avenue and North Union Street in Decatur. Police say a person called in to tell them that a dad beat his daughter numerous times. During their investigation, they found welts on the girl's body. They say she was hit at least 10 times with that cord. The man was arrested on charges of domestic battery and aggravated battery to a child. As the school year starts, schools around central Illinois are trying to find ways to help students who are homeless. There are 433 homeless students in Vermilion County schools alone. The Office of Education is doing its best to give them resources. They say it's crucial to help as soon as possible.
So hard on the parents, but that trickles down to the kids because then they're worried. And we have some kids that are like, I've got to get a job, and then the job becomes more important than school, which then creates another cycle because then they're not making as much money, and yeah, it just goes on and on and on.
Many shelters are only able to house kids who have parents with them through 12 years old, and others can't house anyone under 18, but they can direct those kids to other resources. We have a list of some of those on WCIA.com.
A panel of experts explored potential solutions to the state's biggest math problem, the pension crisis. It's something that's forcing cities to cut back on hiring police, firefighters, or put off upgrades to equipment. One state report shows Rockford piled up $341 million in pension debt. Peoria owes $273 million. Decatur's bill is $128 million. Danville is 16% funded with $111 million in unfunded liabilities. Panelists at today's forum all agreed pensions are the driving force eating into other government services. That's forcing tough cuts to critical services, and they need to find a solution. The Danville Fire Department now has $250,000 for training. The money comes from a federal grant. It hired 6 firefighters in January thanks to a SAFER grant. Both are through FEMA. The first grant was for staffing, but this one is for trainers at the Fire Service Institute. Part of that training includes turnout gear, EMT training, and hazmat operations.
It's very important. Times are still slim all over the nation. We're still kind of feeling the effects from the recession. Just helps kind of alleviate that.
Danville will pay 10% of the grant. The $250,000 is already set aside for the training, so paying $25,000 won't be an issue.
New tonight, Meijer is asking customers to not open carry firearms into its stores. The company tweeted that announcement tonight. Walmart and Kroger have both made the same announcement. This comes in the wake of several mass shootings, including one at a Walmart in Texas. Meijer said, quote, "We've made this decision because open carry can create an environment that makes our customers and team members feel unsafe," end quote. A woman in Champaign created something she's hoping will unite the community. People can now access a directory of Black-owned businesses. The creator says it'll help bridge financial and economic gaps. The directory has a list of restaurants, cleaning services, childcare, and realtors. The woman who had this idea says there are a number of reasons people should support it.
One is to close the racial wealth gap. It strengthens local economies, fosters job creation, it celebrates Black cultures, and it also holds other companies accountable.
The directory is free to use. About 50 businesses have uploaded their information. We have a link to that directory on our website. A company that makes products for people around the world is getting some advice from students at the U of I. Procter & Gamble is opening its first smart lab on campus. It's hiring students for a corporate innovation center. Plus, it's hoping to get fresh ideas and input from those students so it can improve products and services and expose those students to job opportunities.
Some groups for kids go door to door raising money. Why this one is a scam.
Plus, they're man's best friend, but they also have a very important job.
They've been trained to find that odor.
But that skill might also cost them their careers when marijuana becomes legal.
And Illinois football was on the ropes this weekend on the road. How they came back for the win.